Hello everyone, welcome back to Breaklight Productions. My name is Curtis Lambert and today we're reacting to SERINGAI Adrenalin Merusuh. Yeah, let's jump into this. This was another viewer recommendation, so pretty keen for this one. Let's give it a crack. Nice track back. Okay, got a bit of narrative stuff happening. Ooh, good editing to the drum roll there. Ah, hell yeah. Love the simplicity of the lighting in this one. Just nice sort of whitish blue with a deep red. That ball just getting thrown at someone's head. Bit of flareage there. Ooh, nice slow-mo on that. Good editing on the drum roll again. Oh, damn. Yo, this would have been so much fun to make. Holy shit. Oh, eating the old sugar glass. That ball every time. Oh, circle pit. Hell yeah. Oh, nice wide shot. Oh! Very cool. Did not expect that. Nice slow-mo. I love the difference in lighting between upstairs and downstairs. Even though it's the same sort of hue of blue, the difference in the like lightish yellow of downstairs and the harsh red of upstairs is great. Hell yeah. I feel like this was all of my neighbors when I was in high school and was in a death metal band. They had to put up with me practicing every Sunday. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm so gonna try that one day. Why does this guy look familiar? Oh! Oh! Nice comedy. Wait! Is this a guy from the raid? I think it is! I need to see his face again now. And I wasn't even thinking about that. But now it's like a fight scene. I think it might be. Is he gonna... Yeah! Beat him up! It is... It's the... Wow! And apologies for not knowing the actor's name, but yeah, I love both the Raid 1 and 2. Like, they're fucking great action movies. Holy shit! I did not expect it. Wow! Fuck yeah! Oh, that's awesome! Oh god! Yeah, oh, my brain! I almost feel like bad for not recognizing him sooner. It's just my brain wasn't even like thinking about, oh yeah, there's gonna be a fight scene in this, but that was cool. Awesome. Alright, let's break it down. Let's see. What do we want to start with? Let's go with... let's go with lighting. I like lighting. So, upstairs, we've got a sort of whitish blue light that seems to be coming in mostly from the window or like balcony that's off to the side of the band there. Just looking at sort of this wide shot of them here. So that's awesome. It's the same sort of natural light that we see used in the downstairs room as well. But then we've got red lighting on the crowd, and what this is doing is it's differentiating the band and the crowd. So we can very easily in any of these wide shots pick up where the band is because they're a different color to the crowd. As we've spoken about before many times on this channel, there are 3 ways when you don't have dialogue and sound to tell people where to look. It's movement, color, lighting. Obviously, everyone in this is moving. And sort of in terms of lighting, they haven't lit it in a way of like shot by shot, at least for this upstairs stuff. They haven't lit it in a shot by shot sort of way of going about it. They've gone about it by what we call lighting the room, which is basically like, let's make the whole room we're working in or the whole area look good, so that we can pretty much go angle to angle wherever we want, get a shot, and it looks good. Now, what's sort of the pros and cons of doing that? Well, when you light for the shot, so I'm going to differentiate them here by saying lighting the shot versus lighting the room. Lighting the shot is basically for every single shot you stop, you move the lights, you make it look as pretty as possible, you get your cinematic shot. You've got that shot, awesome. Now we're going to slightly move the lights again and you light it for the shot. Now this is more useful when you've got a very like specific storyboard, very specific shot list, and you want it to look as cinematic as possible. That's what you use it for. So a lot of narrative stuff that we've watched in the past, you know, like Freeze the Fall, or even The Warning, a lot of that stuff is lit for the shot. You know, it's made to look as pretty as possible. And that's also where you get a lot of like purposeful flares, glares, etc., because they want that other dimension to it. Light in the room is just, let's make the whole room fit the vibe that we want it to have, which saves time. It saves a heck of a lot of time, but it also saves you from stuffing around if you don't have a specific shot list or storyboard. If you're just like, hey, we need shots of the group upstairs partying, we don't know where they're going to be sitting, we're not sure what extras we want to use, maybe you don't even know what they're going to do yet, you light the room and you work like so that it looks good from every angle, and then you you know, just basically run and gun, like, oh, that looks nice over there, cool, get a shot of that. Oh, can those two do this? That looks awesome, cool. What that ends up doing is you don't end up with as cinematic or beautiful an end product, because you're not, you know, you're not putting that like that extra 10% effort into every single shot. But This is the real world. We're not Steven Spielberg or whatever. Sometimes, it's like, guys, we've only got the budget to do this for one day, or, we've only got all these extras might have been unpaid. And so it's like, hey, they're only going to give us 5 hours of their time or whatever. Like, we can't ask them to do a 10-hour day for free. So we need to just light the room, get the shots done ASAP, bim, bam, boom. That's how you do it. What they've also done, and I just want to watch this sort of wide shot. Yeah, it's tricky to see, but they've added, to the window and to the, well, at least from this angle, the background, a lot of fairy lights. Now, I like that because those are ultimately, because the hard thing of doing light in a room is that your shots often end up because you've got to hide the light in and yada yada yada, unless it's in world, you sort of have to cope with just sort of lights that are at weird angles, maybe some top lights, etc. And so you don't really end up with a backlight or whatever, because how can you plan a backlight when you don't know what your camera shots or whatever are going to be? What I like about adding these fairy lights to the different walls and stuff is that becomes your backlight. Now, it's not actually doing anything. None of these little lights are strong enough to actually backlight someone. But again, we've spoken about this. The purpose of a backlight is to separate your object or your midground or your foreground from the background, so that there's clear separation. That's what these are doing. On this wide shot of the band, there's a bunch of people standing in front of this wall, all wearing black, and the wall is black. But because we've got these lights on in the background, there's that little bit of separation, just a tiny little bit, as well as, things on the black cloth behind the band, they've got in white the band's I presume name up there and stuff. Again, that's adding separation. So great use of it. The top lights, the two practical ones we see up above, also seem to be on timers or dimmers or something, because they are actually going in and out, which again is great. It's adding more energy to the video. In terms of energy and editing, I loved the simplicity of just doing some really fast cuts on the drum rolls in the song. Really simple, really effective. The camera work is great. What I love is how immediate, once we go downstairs, this is where I feel like they start lighting for the shot and not this room, because every shot on him getting up is very beautifully lit. There's a nice he's sitting on the bed here looking up, and there's a nice eye light coming down onto him, even though this yellow light we would presume is coming from that lamp on the table. It's actually not. It's up above. This is beautiful. These shots of him downstairs are gorgeous. And once we enter upstairs, he comes upstairs, he's stopped by the security guard, this is where we start going into this is planned choreography, planned shots and stuff. Might have still been a bit run and gun or whatever, not knowing exactly where a punch is gonna land or whatever. But it's very clear this is where, like, the storyboards came out. And it makes perfect sense because you sort of have to when it's a fight scene, for people's safety and that you have to know what's going on. I love the comedy of the two guys, like, with their shirts. The first one shows a guy getting punched, so he gets punched. Next one is a decapitated head, so the guy's like, I'm out of here. Love that. Very simple. And this is the thing, like, again, when you think about it, this is a purely visual joke. We're not relying on any witty words or dialogue in this to, like, tell this joke, and yet it works, which is great. And something that I think a lot of filmmakers should sort of learn from. Like, that's why I say music videos, very important. Then yeah, I mean, what can be said about the fucking action scene? I fucking love it. Like I said, if you haven't seen the first and second Raid movies, I think there's only two, at least from what I have DVD wise. But yeah, they're fucking cool, especially the first one. I think I've seen that movie, like, God, probably into the triple digits now. But yeah, it's a great action movie, and very much this action scene captures that energy, that camera work. Like, it's not done to as good a level, but, like, that's the difference between, what is a music video and just having fun, and an actual, like, serious movie. Like, I'm sure this actor had an absolute blast being like, oh, you want me to do a music video? Fuck yeah. Like, get a, beat up the band at the end? Fuck yeah. And I love that the band, like, are willing to make themselves look like a bit of a joke by, being like, fuck yeah, and then seeing him and, like, uh-oh, and just, like, they don't even land a punch. They just all get their asses kicked. Like, I love it when bands are happy with themselves being the butt of the joke. I think it shows great personality. What else can we talk about? Yeah, this was... I feel bad, like I said, for not recognizing the actors straight away. It's just I was in music video world. I wasn't even thinking, oh yeah, the guy from the Raid could be in this. Yeah, just super cool. And again, great energy from the crowd and band. Like, all the little things. Actually, that's something we can briefly talk about. Sugar glass. So, this guy smashes a bottle over his head, and then the other guy grabs it and starts eating it. Sugar glass is completely safe. You basically, you can make it look like glass. But it's essentially, I forget how you make it, but it's essentially sugar. And so it is actually edible. It's quite, like, don't get me wrong, it's like a weird texture and stuff. But it is basically like, imagine just biting into almost like a jellified, like a hard jelly sugar, Like, it doesn't taste great, but if you have to eat it, which this guy had to, it's not bad. Like, it's not sharp or anything. It's not going to hurt you. And what it's used for is, because it's quite easy to mold, it's used for a lot of, like, glass bottles, glass vases, etc. So that you can just, in movies and that, break it. Guy gets hit over the head with a beer bottle, boom, you use sugar glass, and it does, break away. And so, yeah, doesn't really hurt. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, it'll still hurt a little bit because the person's hitting you over the head with something, but it's not going to, like, hurt like an actual beer bottle would. yeah, so really, again, cool little humorous moment. And again, like, it's not just like, oh, here's funny then. It's also like all of the acting and performances and reactions to these like moments are what selling it, which again is so great to see in music videos, because I think again, as I said earlier, like movies rely too much on dialogue and stuff. Like they would have this guy who's, watching his friend eat this beer bottle be like, "Oh my god, Jeff, what are you doing? That's glass." But it's like we don't need that, like visual comedy in my opinion is the best comedy. Like just show it happen. Like it's so good. But yeah, all in all, this was a fucking roller coaster of a music video. Thank you so much for recommending it, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.